Okay,
And we're recording.
perfect. Heather, you want to get us started?
Okay, so hello everyone. My name is Heather, as you probably saw on our live thing. So this is going to be the meeting that we're going to meet at once a week, every Monday, to kind of launch whatever Monday or whatever weekly activity we're going to be doing. So for this week, we're going to be going over the basics, which is the compensation plan, because if you don't understand that, you kind of can't really move too much further. And so Ashton is going to take us off with that.
Exactly. So, we are going to talk about why you're doing what you're doing this month. You guys have said that you have interest in promoting, and so that is the perfect start, that you guys have the motivation to do that. But we want to kind of make things real money-wise this week. We don't want you guys to misinterpret us and say that we're all about money and that has to be your reason for doing Cincy and your why. But we do want to explain things in a very real, practical way so that you know how you're making money, so that you can see promotion-wise how you can continue up the compensation plan and continue to make more money. Unfortunately, our compensation plan is a little more difficult than I would prefer. However, once you get the basics, it is very easy to explain to somebody who's been doing Cincy for a little while. In my opinion, even if your sponsor went over this in the beginning, sorry, my husband's home. I'm so sorry. Lock the door. Okay. So, in my opinion, even if your sponsor went over this with a fresh consultant, it's not something that you remember whenever you decide that you're really interested in promoting, and it doesn't just come by chance anymore. So, to start off with, obviously, everybody starts with an essential consultant. Everybody starts as an essential consultant. So if you go straight across the line, you'll see the 20% right there, and that is your commission for your personal retail volume. So that is your PRV that you're making monthly. So that's just a flat rate, 20%. So for every PRV that you earn, every dollar that you sell, you are making 20%. That stays pretty simple. Once you hit 1,000, whether that takes you one day or 2 years, once you hit 1,000 total PRV, then you will start making 25%. That's also pretty easy. This is where it gets a little more complex. So once you promote to lead, which first of all takes a couple different components. So in order to even make lead consultant, you have to sell $500 in 1 month. And you, and at least one, if you can see my screen, you can see where I'm getting these numbers from. One active frontline, so that means that they have to place at least $150 in that month. And starting March, not to complicate things, but that number will be 200. So you and that person have to make up a group wholesale volume of 1,000. This is where I think it gets a little more complicated than it has to. So stop me if you have questions. So group wholesale volume is the total sum of your PRV and any active frontline multiplied by 75%. So I don't know why it has to be, Heather, do you know why the fudgesicle, it has to be multiplied by 75%? I can't hear you, Heather. I can see your mouth moving.
Okay, sorry, I forgot I muted myself. It's so that we can't make up our own, like we can't become a director and like do $10,000 PRV ourselves. It makes it's harder for us to be the head baller in our TWV and GWV. because
Okay.
then we would
So I
hit
guess
it easy.
35% just kind of knocks off a piece of your puzzle. But you always have to sell 500 PRV no matter how far you go up the compensation plan in order for you to get paid off of any downline. So that first 500 PRV is essential. That won't change no matter how far you go up. So that is a very good base. Once you get your goal set of selling $500 every single month, you'll realize that it takes at least one party and follow-up phone calls out the wazoo. So once you get your base of selling $500, then you can start worrying about, or not worrying, but concerning yourself with the other things that are on this line. So your group wholesale volume for a lead consultant needs to be 1,000, and you need to have one active front line. So just because you have one front line does not mean they count at that time. So my husband is cooking, bless his soul, but he is out. Okay, so for that to happen, they have to place $150. In February and March will be $200. Does anybody have any questions about that so far?
I have a quick question. Okay, so the front line you're talking about someone that signed up under you, correct?
Correct. So it has to be your front line.
Yep.
Somebody
Okay.
you recruited.
Okay, so we need at least to sell $500 a month, and then the person, one of our active front lines, to sell at least $150.
Exactly. And then after that, you can sell more or she can sell more, but that's the minimum for each of you. Does that make sense?
Yep.
And so you guys can do your own puzzle. You can fix things, or not fix things, but you can make up things however they happen to fall. But you just have your minimum, and your active front line has their minimum.
Another thing to point out is that you don't get paid off of your frontline or anybody in your group if you don't hit at starting at least on those lead stats. So you could have like 20 people on your team, but if you're not doing a minimum of 500 and having at least one of them do 150, then it doesn't matter if their downlines do 10,000 if your frontline and yourself aren't even doing what you're supposed to be doing. And that's what also keeps us from being a pyramid scheme. You can't just recruit all these people, have them recruit, and then keep making money. Everybody has to hit their volumes, and if you're hitting those volumes, it means you're working your business effectively.
Okay, got it.
So to take things one step farther, I'm going to tell you what you're making. So now you have to know, you know what you have to do to even make money as a lead consultant. But the numbers that you will make off of those volumes are, you will make 25% off of your PRV personally, and then personal wholesale volume is 75% of your PRV. So take your PRV, multiply it by 75%, and you will make 2% of that. So that's like your bonus check. So if you see, no matter how far you go up the compensation plan, you're making 25%. But once you hit your 500 PRV and you hit your numbers across the line here in the purple area, you will get a bonus in the green area. And then when you're a lead consultant, you will make 2% off of your essential and certified consultant TWV. So that means that, Danielle, so you have a front line and her name is Ashley. Ashley has a front line and her name is Brittany, okay? So when you are making your numbers, you and Ashley have your group wholesale volume of 1,000 combined, and you have hit your 500 PRV, and Ashley has hit at least 200 PRV. But then Ashley also has Brittany. So Brittany and Ashley will make up their team wholesale volume. Okay? So together, their PRV multiplied by 75% you will make 2% of that. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay. So that is how these numbers start to go. You will see that as you go up the compensation plan, if you have frontline that pass you in the compensation plan until you hit director. Once you hit director, this changes some. But once you hit, until you hit director, if your frontline pass you in the compensation plan, you no longer make commission off of them. So if you are lead consultant and your frontline hit star or superstar director before you, you will no longer make commission off of them. This changes when you become director, but we won't cover that because it gets more complicated. When you hit director, your director will explain all that.
Okay.
So does that make sense so far?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. So now we're going to go over star numbers, which I bet you guys could explain to me at this point. So how much PRV do you have to make to get paid as a star consultant?
500.
500. And then your group wholesale volume has to be 2,500. That's a big jump from 1,000, but you'll have more team members to help you make it up, hopefully. So then you need 2 active frontline each month. So you may have 10 active frontline, but you're only, 10 frontline, period. But you're only required to have 2 active in that month, along with your other numbers, to qualify as star. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay. So then at that point, you're going to make 25% once you've hit all of your purple numbers. You're going to make 25% off your PRV, and you're going to make 4% off of your personal wholesale volume, so your PWV. So that's your bonus. And then you will make 4% off of your essential and certified consultant TWV, and you will make 2% off of your lead consultant TWV. So you won't make anything off your star or superstar consultant frontline because you're only a star. But you will get an increase in what you're making as you jump from lead to star off of those lead, essential, and certified consultants and their team members. Does that all still make sense?
Maybe run through it one more time.
Okay. Go through star one more time?
Yeah, break it down for him one more time.
Okay. Star one more time. Okay, so we always need 500 PRV for February. In order to be a star consultant in February, I have to have 500 PRV this February. This February, I'm also going to need 2,500 GWV, which is the sum of all of my active frontlines, including myself, times 75%. Whenever that number totals 2,500, then I can check off that, and I can check off that, and then I also need to make sure that I still have 2 active frontlines who in February who have made 150 PRV at least. Okay, so the purple numbers make sense? Okay. Yep.
Yep.
Okay, so before you can even make star, you need to make lead, and then you can go to star, but before director, correct?
No, you can
So
all of
actually,
it.
you can skip. You can actually skip. So if you just joined and you got certified your first month, but then in your second month or at any time, this is just an example, at any time, hypothetically, you could join in February, get 2 active frontline, get a total of 2,500 GWV, and you've got your personal at least 500 PRV, then you would go directly from essential to star.
Kind of like how Felicia double promoted. She hit superstar consultant and then the same month hit director.
Right.
So it's not like corporate America where you have to achieve this title or this promotion before you achieve this promotion. You can start as a social consultant
Okay.
and be a director within 2 months.
But you need 2 active frontline because I only have 1 active frontline right now.
For your star, you need at least 2.
Okay.
Meaning 2 people that have to sell at least 250, right? Or 150.
150. Because in February, to be active, you have to have 150. Now,
Okay.
in March, our numbers changed to 200. Just because that's a new
Okay.
change.
Okay.
Okay?
I was
It's
confused
always
on that. Thank you.
It's always been 150, but we're in March starting 200 to be an active consultant. So that's why that number is switching in March.
Now, I thought that the 250, I thought that the 150 was every 3 months. It's every month?
That's just
But
to
that's
stay. I'm sorry, go ahead.
well, that's a little confusing as well. Whenever I first joined, I definitely had that exact same question. So you are an active consultant in the company. You can sell, you can still recruit, you still can have your website, all that, if you sell $150 in one of every 3 months. However, to be an active consultant, active frontline consultant on the compensation plan, you have to have placed that order in that month.
Wow. It's all so confusing.
It is. I wish it were more simple. Absolutely. But does it make sense now that I'm saying it?
Yeah.
Are you sure? I don't mind explaining it again.
No. I get it now.
Okay, yeah. I wish that there was a different word. Like, I wish it was current consultant, and you had to place an order in one of every 3 months to be a current consultant, but to be active, it was I wish it were different words.
I think
don't
they
know
do
why
it
it's
on.
a different word.
I think they do it on purpose to kind of be like, if you're being active anyway, then it's a minimum of 200. So in order to be actively getting paid off of someone, they would have to do that. But the same is
Yeah.
for like if you're going to be an active consultant, meaning doing the 150 every 3 months.
Yeah.
I guess, I don't know.
So for the compensation plan, in order to be considered active on your compensation plan, you have to have placed the 150 in February or 200 in March and ongoing in that particular month. Okay?
Okay.
All right. So that is how our compensation plan works. Now that you know what it takes to become a STAR consultant, that is the total goal of this 4-week process. So we wanted to explain that because even if it has been explained to you once as a new consultant, it likely went way over your head and you didn't even care to ask questions because you're like, whatever, it doesn't matter, I'm just trying to sell Scentsy. But now that you're trying to promote, it's completely essential to know what those things are that you need to do. And then Heather is going to show you the average yearly income for each rank on the compensation plan so that you'll see kind of real numbers.
So now that you guys know the linguistics how to get there, now's the reason why we want to get there, right? And so I don't know if I can screen share or not. Let me try.
I can unscreen share for a second.
Well, I just don't know if I can screen share my thing let me change the presenter back to myself. Okay, and now I'm going to do my screen. Can you see my screen?
No.
You see the meeting history now? Can you see it now?
No.
You see the background?
No.
No.
Mm-mm.
No. Okay, I'm just going to read it because I don't know what I'm doing, obviously. Okay, so basically, you can find this in your Business Reference Center on your workstation. And it has from Essential to Superstar Director the average pay that certain title generally gets. So it has the average, the minimum, and then the maximum. So an essential consultant typically will make between 0 as an average, or as a minimum of 0 and a maximum of about $200 a month or a year. And then for a certified consultant, they make a minimum of 0 and a maximum of $20,480 a year. Now that's a lot. The average is actually $676. And then for a lead consultant, their average is about $3,237 annually, with a minimum of 0 and then a maximum of $9,539. So that's a lead consultant. And then a star consultant is an average, this is all yearly, an average of $5,014, a minimum of $55, and a maximum of $10,858.
Heather, what is the name of that file when you look it up on Business References?
It is called, I want to say, the disclosure income statement. It should be right up here.
Yeah. Okay. If you want to put me back on presenter, I just pulled it up.
There we go. Okay.
I'm such a visual person. I didn't understand anything you just said.
I know I was trying to screenshot. I don't know what was going on with it. But basically, I just feel like it's easier to understand. Because I know when I first started Scentsy and I started promoting its stuff, it wasn't even about the income portion. I just really wanted the title. And then it kind of changed to, wow, I'm making a lot more money than I was before. And then all of a sudden, it's like, well, how much am I really making? How much am I supposed to be making? Is this normal? Kind of thing. So the title's cool, but the income portion is what you're really going for, in a sense.
Absolutely. I can definitely vouch. I do not remember what I was making as a star consultant because I didn't pay attention to making certain ranks until I hit director, which it blows my mind. I think that I would have gotten there a lot sooner if I would have, but I can vouch for sure that as a director, that average annual income is very close to what I make, and the average month with Scentsy is 64, so I'm not sure how many years that is, but I would say that's about average for directors, and so it may take you a little while to get there. That last box or the last column is extremely important in my opinion because that shows you that it doesn't happen overnight for most people, but I do think that I would have gotten further up the compensation plan quicker if I would have been more aware of what it took to promote. So that's why we're telling you these things about the requirements to be a star consultant right off the bat. So if you need money as kind of an incentive, then it is an incentive for sure to make an additional average $5,000 a year as a star consultant. And I think that's a really good measure as to what you can expect so that you don't overshoot yourself as well, so that you don't think you're going to make way more than you should make. Does that make sense?
Yeah, we've all done that, I feel like.
I think it gives you a fair ruler for sure, because I always pictured being a director that I would make, you know, a few $100s a month, which is actually what's happening. But I feel like as a superstar director, to see that they're making an average of $219, that's insane to me. That's their average. But we're skipping ahead of the gun. That's definitely my motivation right now. So the other thing that we wanted to do with you guys this week is we want to give you a challenge because it doesn't matter how much money you make. It really does not. If you don't have a major reason why you want to do Scentsy, that can be something as simple as when I first started off, I saw that my director had just won a trip to Greece. And so I said, I will never actually win a trip to Greece, but I'm sure going to try. And I'm not going to buy those warmers for full price, so I might as well give it a shot. So I did give it a shot, and it was totally just a shoot in the wind in the beginning. And then I realized that lots of people do love their homes and their cars and everything else to smell good. And then I realized after watching some monthly webinars and team trainings and stuff like that, that I could actually make this a business.
Yeah.
And so once I realized that I could make this a business and that earning a trip really was possible, I earned a trip after my first year of doing Cincy to Cancun, Mexico, which was insane. I could not believe that I had actually done this thing, because I sold Mary Kay whenever I was in college, and all the ladies that drive the pink cars, I thought, whatever, that doesn't really happen to people that you know. And so whenever I won that trip, I realized for sure, I had not hit director yet, and I realized this can be a real business. And when I realized that it could be more than just earning trips, which could be in itself its own major incentive, in my opinion, I realized that this could be something for me and my future family. So I've always dreamed of wanting to be a mom. I am 16 weeks pregnant, and it is so, so, so real, and I could get super emotional talking about it because it is becoming completely real. But my story on my website, as soon as I realized, when I got back from Cancun and I realized that this was a real thing, my why became that I could work this business so that I could earn real income and I could be home more with my family that I didn't even have yet, but I knew that that's what I wanted. So that's always been my why, is that I could use that income to still be able to pay bills and have things that I want and not have to sacrifice going out to dinner or getting my nails done if that's what I want to do, but I could still do those things and stay at home with my children and really make money. So that's always been my incentive. At this point, with those average numbers of making $15,000 a year, which is very close to probably what I've made in the past couple years of being a director, I also do realize that that is not the money that I make as a nurse. So I'm a nurse, and I do make really good money, so that does set my standards high. But I realize that I have to work this business. If I want to be a completely stay-at-home mom, or I want to do something where I'm really going to cut out hours at work, I really have to work this business to make those numbers real. Because my husband is the type of man that he's not going to let me just quit my job if I don't have the numbers and the history and several months of making that money to back it up, which I appreciate, because I would just jump and then realize that I'm going to sink. So I would say that the challenge this week is to be very real with yourself. If you and your why are to earn money for groceries, or to earn incentive trips, or to be a stay-at-home mom, or whatever your why may be, I just ask that you deep down take longer than just a few minutes. If you're a praying person, pray about it and really think about what your why is with you. And in my opinion, that really matters between you and God, because your dreams cannot sometimes be not God's dreams. So I think that connecting those things, if you're a praying person, definitely matter, and just really sinking into why this business is something that you're going to want to do with longevity. So something that is going to get you past next month, or just getting to star, or just becoming a director, or just earning the very next trip. Find out what that thing is that really gets you excited, that is going to sustain you whenever things get hard, or your frontline quit, or you don't hit numbers for several months in a row. Find that thing that really deep down inside of you just keeps you tugging along. And this is the scary part. You have to share it. So share it. We want you to go live on your Facebook page, which I have not gone live about my why on my public Facebook page in a very long time, like maybe since the first year that I joined. So I'm stepping out of my comfort zone, and I'm going to do this with you, and so is Heather and Taylor and Felicia. So your directors are going to do the scary things with you. But we want you guys to jump out this week, and before next Monday, we want you to go live about why use Scentsy. And that can be anything in the whole wide world. Nobody's going to judge you. None of us care what that why is. We just want it to be something that you've thought about, that deep down inside would just, it is your fire for your business. So, do you guys have any questions about the challenge for the week?
I do want to say just one thing. And the reason that we want you guys to go live, I'm hearing my echo. The reason why we want you guys to go live is to make you guys like nervous or whatever. It's because sharing your why on your Facebook is going to make it so that you're not a Scentsy robot, but that people can actually connect with you and see what your why is and why you're doing this, and then hopefully it relates to them. Because in actuality, if you want to get to star on these numbers, you got to get those teams built, and the bigger your team is and the stronger they are, the more easy it is to do that. And the best way to do that is for you guys to start being real with yourself and the people who you're around. And like, this is why I do this. I do this because I want to make extra income. Why do you want to make extra income? Well, because I want to support my family. Well, your husband works. Why can't he support your family? Well, my mom was a single mom for 7 years, and she really struggled to take care of people. I don't want to get in that situation. That is a real why. And there's going to be other people who can relate to that, and they're going to see that journey, and they're like, you know what, that's what I want too. This is my why, and why Scentsy would fit into my life. And so it's more taking your why and making it so that other people can see how their lives are going to be affected by Scentsy as well. Not to just make you get out of your comfort zone, even though that's important, just saying.
I'm in.
Yeah, so sharing your why is absolutely intended to inspire other people. I mean, of course, I hope that somebody will relate to you, and I hope that somebody will be inspired to join you in this journey. But it will also make you so much more relatable to your customers. Your customers will be more inspired to buy from you. I mean, choosing Walmart or Target is really not that emotional. I mean, you just decide which you like. But there are 400 billion Scentsy consultants, and many of your friends and family and coworkers and customers have 100 different people that they could buy from. But you are they buy from you for a particular reason. And so sharing why you do things will hopefully give some inspiration to your customers to maybe join, to step out, and be a blessing to themselves and their families with the business, and also with, business for you and buying from you. Because there is something about Heather that people can relate to. She's shared her why, and it makes me cry every time. But there's something that Heather has been through that I pray to God I never have to go through. And there are definitely people that have joined on her team or who can relate to her better because she's been through those things. And so I hope that you guys have a lot of fun, and I hope your armpits get sweaty, and I hope that you learn to enjoy being a little bit uncomfortable this week, and I cannot wait to hear what comes out of you sharing your why. And when you share your why on your personal Facebook page, if you can, I'm not like a super guru, but I think that you should be able to share that on our Get Them to Star page as well. So if you can, share that. If not, tag your director in your why video on your personal page, so that way we can see it and we can cheer you on. Did any of the other directors have anything to add? No? Heather?
No, I just said what I had to say about why to share their why it's important.
Okay, perfect. Taylor or Felicia, do you guys have anything you want me to add, or you guys want to add?
No, I don't think so. I think y'all covered everything.
I think I looked over my notes, and I think that's everything I was supposed to say for the week. We will come back next Monday, so you're going to share your why on your personal page, and you're going to tag your director, and you're going to share on the Get Them to Star page. But then next Monday night, which is February the 13th, at 8:30, we will do the same thing with a new topic and a new challenge here, so that we can hopefully make it a little easier in promoting to STAR. So we are cheering you guys, and I will speak for all of us in saying that we sincerely appreciate you taking the last 40 minutes to be with us. We do this because we want you to succeed, and we know that you have the motivation to promote, and we want to be there for you during this super exciting time, and hopefully get you there in a systematic way so that you're not just kind of floating in a circus and trying to figure this out on your own. So we're proud of you guys. Thanks for coming, and we will see you next Monday night at 8:30 on Getting Into the Star page, just like we're doing tonight. Bye, y'all.
Bye.